you a little short for a stormtrooper?
Happy anniversary right back at you, man. Hard to believe we've been doing this for a year. There's been a lot that's happened in a year. And oh boy. I can't tell whether that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing or what happened with the New 52. Very true. So, yeah. Absolutely. So, no, I'm good here. So we'll keep going until people stop caring, and even then we'll probably still keep going. So. Right. Really? Mm. Right. Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, unfortunately, we had to start it on a downer, but now into the CinemaCon, which there was a lot of stuff that came out of this from every studio. Right. You know what we should do? We should make another one of those. That'd be a good idea. Yes, yes, it would. Hmm, that's promising. Right. Then, but then if you announce Barry Keoghan coming back, then it gives away the Joker. Like, there's there's a lot of like I don't know. There's a little gamesmanship when it comes to announcing cast back. Like yeah, Pattinson you lead with because well, if you're making the Batman 2 Electric Boogaloo, you know that Batman will be there, or you would hope. So you toss that out there and then play a little hard to get with the rest of it. Yep. Hmm. Right. Yeah. It's been a while since they've done justice outside of via TV to a live action Robin or Nightwing or whatever. Well, you forced me to watch all those where they actually did it good or well, so it was like, okay, yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah, there's minor quirks or what qualms or whatever, but overall like they did a decent job with them. Oh, that's, I mean, right. Hmm. Yeah, it's, yeah, if they could find a way, yeah, but it's, you almost, especially with the way it's the grittiness, the feel of the movie, it's it's tough to see, a Killer Croc showing up. Like, you would think it'd air more towards the Scarecrow, Bane, like the people we saw in the Nolan trilogy, just because of the boots on the ground feel to it. I mean, maybe what he's talking about, um, maybe what he's talking about when he says he wants to bring back some of those above and beyond, like, supernatural villains. Maybe it's, taking Mr. Freeze and not making him in the same vein, but grounding him and still making him extremely frightening. Um, and if that's the challenge he's up for, then I think that's something that could work. But like I said, I don't see Killer Croc or Man Bat showing up. Uh, right, that he'd be willing to. Right. Maybe it's a tease to something like that, or just an offhand reference to whatever Freeze's actual name is, or kind of how we saw Harvey Dent through the original, well, the original Grounded run, where for the most part he wasn't Two Face, he was just Harvey Dent, and then something happens. Right. Right. Yeah, there's no. I can only imagine. Hmm. Huh. Yep. Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, that. Yeah, minor detail. Right. It would be. I mean, that could segue into Freeze. Got a lot of water to deal with there. Um, yeah. Huh. Nice. Oh yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Oh, for the record, since I hadn't seen it since I think this is the first pod since it came out, right? Or did we talk about it last week? Yeah. Okay. All I know is I saw it and it was phenomenal. I was pleasantly surprised. I hadn't yeah. Like it fit everything you had said, and I was very glad I watched it, and it did not feel like it was 3 hours long in any way, shape, or form. So no, pacing was still good. But you didn't need to. Right. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Right. Says the guy trying to avoid all trailer spoilers for a different movie. There you go. Yep. Right. Okay. Well, oh, absolutely. And we'll see what direction Warner Brothers decides to lean into on this. But if they're, you know, heading out to literally the biggest thing that's happened or the biggest event since the happenings, it's looking like they may just try and, shove it under the rug and see if they hold themselves together. Yep. And then at the same time, Miller's got to understand that they only have one shot left. Like, there's only so many strikes. Oh yeah, like do they just publicly go, yes, we understand, we're putting this movie out, we've got a lot behind it. Miller will no longer, even prior to the movie, like the Flash will be replaced in the future or whatever. Um, right, right. Do they? Yeah, if they if they just have to address it and move on. Oh, absolutely. Um, Probably Blue Beetle. As weird as that sounds. No, it's probably that or Black Adam, just because it's a novel character for me, and that I don't have the background on it. Like, you know what you're going to be getting from Shazam or the Flash, or to an extent Batgirl, like something in the Bat family. Um, Blue Beetle and Black Adam are two very novel characters and concepts to me. So I'm all for whenever they drop, making sure I check them out. How about you? Mm, absolutely. That's literally still next up on my HBO 2 watch. It's just things keep jumping in front of it. Sold. All right. We'll figure that one out. Yeah. Right. Really? We I think it was like a leak or something. Yeah. Yep. Nice. Mhm. There we go. I I got hit by a couple of them and have shut down the machine, let's put it that way. So, I got accidentally sideswiped. Yeah. Yep. Mhm. Insanity. Absolute insanity. Um, and do they have to wait until the bank clears from Multiverse of Madness to go on that? Like, is that what's going to fund it, or should Disney be okay with this? No. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Now, I take that with a caveat because I'm with you to a degree. Like, if they can, and we'll touch on this at the end of this episode, but if they can do with the rest of this 10 years what they've been doing with the last 5 weeks of television, I'll be much I'll be much more okay with it. Right. Phase 4 has been pretty novel. Yep. Yeah. Hell, they did give it its own they gave it its own designation for an Earth, so we could even see hypothetically comics set in the MCU. That'd be weird. Yeah. No, and the immediate rumors that started circulating were that Watts was going to end up uh step down effectively to be able to helm the next trilogy for Spider-Man again. Whether or not that's a thing, who knows? I personally would like to see a different direction. I've loved what Watts has done, but would like to see Spidey go in a different direction than where he's currently at, like just a pivot. Um, but if that's the case, then it's like that also explains why Feige's, all happy, like, okay, sure, that's fine. Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Right. And it's also like whatever your take on No Way Home was, you also have now seen him handle a good number of novel characters at the same time and made them all feel individual and able to hold their own, be it the Spider-Men or the villains. Like a whole bunch of new faces, and that's what's going to happen in the Fantastic Four movie is you've got 4 new individual characters that you have to somehow sell the family dynamic as well as all their individual quirks right off the bat. And any, yes, people know the Fantastic Four. They're Marvel's first family. Like that's what they are. Well, do people that aren't our people know it? That's true. That's true. Because, I mean, even if you look, even since we've been reading comics, there haven't been that many memorable Fantastic Four runs. And Reed Richards keeps getting to become more and more of a giant ass. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Hmm. Right. 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 Yeah. I mean, the most interesting thing that's happened with the Fantastic Four in the last decade has been the kids. Like everything that's gone on with Franklin has been weird but intriguing at least. And it's like I don't know. There's nothing like Ben has had some nice solo stuff. Like they put out I think one maybe 2 solo runs from him that I've heard decent things about. But like Dan Slott's run was very up and down. Prior to that, I don't know. I don't even know what they've had. So yeah, it's really a weird thing. Oh yeah, no, but it's no longer the first name you think of when you think of Marvel. Right. Yeah, those. Yeah, and think about it. They announced Fantastic Four as their anchor to Phase 4. Like that's their last movie in Phase 4, and that's kind of crazy. Like they got to land it. They got to nail it because that's what it's riding on. Yeah, yeah, right. I mean, if they're already looking at the next 10 years, like things are in the pipe. Midnight Suns, please, Midnight Suns. Yeah, Oh yeah. Oh god. And when you say the problem, and I guess that's the blessing and the curse of Marvel having the catalog they do, is we had just talked about how both of us are kind of like, all right, well, that's a lot coming at us in 10 more years. And then I was like, I was kind of driving on the down train. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a ton. Like, we'll see what happens. And then you just mentioned X-Men and Fantastic Four. And it's like, oh, yeah, I do want to see all those movies. Right. 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 At least as a flashback. If anything, it's going to be like in Cap 4 we see, Bucky or Sam reference something that happened with Steve, and Chris Evans makes a cameo as a flashback type thing. Like that. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. Yep. Well, and that's why I'm glad we're seeing, Riri Williams and Ironheart and that which has started filming, I believe, this week. I think I saw. So, um, but like you're seeing, Riri take over that mantle, and yeah, down the line, if something happens and you find some way, there's plenty of other, like, yeah, we get the next Iron Man series that Rhodey is Iron Man or whatever, but like something with a different take on it, and like the shifts need to keep happening, like you mentioned. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, you get Wolverine on the Avengers. You get like all this other random tie-ins, and like I guess it's funny because you think about it, and I know we've touched on it in the past a little, but like, where do you start? Do you start with the original five? Do you start with Uncanny? Like, do you? As long as they don't dive into Phoenix too early, I'll be fine. Just completely ignore the Phoenix Force. Done. Right. Yeah. Right. Oh god, that would be interesting. Like the Avengers way down the road, the full team up to, you know, combat Dark Phoenix and huh. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about I was going to say things that we are not marking for the future. I think so. Yeah. Fair. Absolute diehard El Muerto fan. Mm-hmm. Yep. I can see it over your shoulder. Mm-hmm. There at this point there has to be because I'm pretty sure El Muerto isn't going to be the sixth member of the Sinister Six. Um, it's just completely confounding that they're doing this before any number of other movies if they were going to do them and like you just mentioned anything with the name Spider-Man or Spider hell give me Jessica Drew give me like uh, yeah right oh yeah yeah good audio or yeah but yeah there you go Spider-Woman right there as a John Tyler Christopher negative space cover featuring Spider-Woman. Yeah. Silk maybe? Yeah. And if you want to add to the diverse cast of spider peoples like you said, you have various representations in Miguel O'Hara and Miles Morales and Silk. Like it's right there. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Hmm. Right. Well, and they've already done the Vulture thing where he met him and was like, "Oh God." No, I mean like the because I was originally thinking like, oh, they introduce Harry and he becomes good friends with Harry and then happens to meet his dad, who happens to be Norman Osborn and whatever. And it's like, well, they already did that with Vulture, so that's kind of out. Um, yeah, right, right, yeah. Well, and for any longtime listeners, Mike could have just stopped that as we don't understand Sony and just left it at that because it seems like every move they make, we're just like, why are you doing this? And then with Morbius, it was pretty well documented that yeah, that should have been a why. So we'll see where that goes. Right, because of Paramount, right? Right. Which you would think, right? Hulkverse. Yeah. Yeah. If you're gonna keep doing it, just for for the record, we just tangented 9 minutes off of an El Muerto movie announcement. Oh boy. uh, uh, it was supposed to release originally in 2014, so it's at least 8 years plus. Had to have been a year prior to that. So yeah, 9 years. You were dead on. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds right. 13. Avatar. Yeah. The Way of Water. And Avatar 3 officially is named the Tulkun Rider? Oh no, that's something farther. What? I don't know. Never mind. I guess. I don't know. Right. Oh, really? Avatar 5 is still scheduled for 2028. Oh? Okay. $250 million budget, releasing December 16th. And I'm sure I will see it. I Just because it's the cinematic nature that it is, I'll probably see it in theaters. Um, so yeah, I mean, who knows if it's going to warrant 3, 4, and 5, but yeah, they're kind of swinging for the fences. Yeah, it's the original, just about all of the original cast, um, and Sam Worthington. Uh, he was Perseus in Clash of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans. He was in Terminator Salvation, um, Everest, Hacksaw Ridge, The Debt, The Shack. Apparently, just all things that start with the. Um, but we had to look it up. Oh yeah. That'll be interesting to see what they come up with there. I mean, that's if you're looking for two big names, that's about I don't know, on a scale of 1 to huge, that's two pretty huge names. Yeah. I mean, if he put 300 out now or Sin City out now, would it get the same reception? Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on. Let's see, a 5 or 6 week miniseries comic that's coming out 5 or 6 weeks before Huh, weird. Weird. Yep. I can say a plug from last week. A plug from last week that we missed. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin #5 finally came out. Off delayed, and what has been keeping me from reading 4 books over on that shelf. I was waiting to complete all 5, and they just kept pushing #5 out. So I will finally get to actually embark on the tale of what I've heard is a very, very good book. It's the return of Eastman and Laird. So, and then Obi-Wan, I actually conveniently happen to have a haircut next door to our new local comic book shop, Funky Town Comics, on Wednesday. So I think I know what I'm going in and picking up. Oh, good call. Absolutely. And the end of Moon Knight. So, guys, we're going to be busy next week. I would say so, yeah. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts of whether or not all the fan outcry of the really dumb idea of part 1, part 2 made a difference? Because I'm assuming no, but it was mostly the day it happened, and that was about it. Like Twitter was a buzz of why would they say part 1 and part 2? Just name them two different things. Well, speaking of things beyond, Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, is officially swapping release dates with the Marvels. Originally slated to come out June 23rd, it will now be coming out June of 23, because I can read things. It will now be coming out February of 23, while the Marvels slides to the June date. I guess that's confirmation that the Marvels wouldn't have set up anything in Quantumania, and that Kang is still Kang. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'd be curious if this is, one of those soft uh, soft endings to all these so that they can add more on the other side of not these but new shows or whatever in the HBO verse. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard good things, so that'll be. Right, or confuse people between Batwoman and the Batgirl movie slash show, and there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of Bat family things happening. So maybe it is just all right, we're gonna make this break and then pick it up where it may. If James Gunn has his way, every weird character in the DC universe will have its show. Absolutely, absolutely. So, speaking of things we will be getting next, apparently, as Mike's shirt will tell you, Ghostbusters Afterlife will be getting a sequel. No release date announced yet, but it is officially going to happen. Something that Sony isn't completely screwing up. I feel like that's a very good sign. There you go. It is. That might be, dead reckoning, because they're going to have to tie it up soon, because Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. And not a spring chicken anymore. There are many, many reasons that man is certifiably insane. The least of which is that he would stand outside a plane, record that message. But that's Tom Cruise. Yeah, really. That I mean, I got good vibes from the trailer, but I didn't. It's the standard trailer thing where you're like, all right, is that all the good stuff? I like it. This is true. Yeah. Before you jump, feel free to follow if you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, like, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notified when we put uploads up. Usually that would be every Sunday night. If you don't get it Sunday night, it'll be Monday morning in your podcatcher of choice, in your YouTube, whatever feed they give you, the little dingy button up in the top. Um, and, like, I'm just going to say like a lot. Subscribe to us on your favorite podcatcher, and feel free to reach out, themultiverseport@gmail.com, themultiverseport.com, and Multiverse Report on all of your socials that you feel like attaching to our name. So I guess we're going spoiler heavy in 3, 2, go for it. All of the mm-hmm. Oh, for the record, I did get my wife to start watching it. Got through 2 episodes. She's in, so that's good. Um, Episode 1, rewatching it, it didn't bother me as much. I don't know if it's because I knew what to expect, but the CGI definitely didn't bother me as much. So I don't know what the deal is there. And I watched it on the actual TV because I wasn't banished to the basement. Um, so yeah, it was it. If you're not expecting it to be ultra clean and tight, it didn't seem to bother me. So that was good. when you were mentioning Tom Cruise's award nominee performance, I was just waiting to be like, you know what? Oscar Isaac needs to win an award for this show. Yeah. I think I sent it to you. I think I sent it to you earlier this week, but the biggest compliment you can pay to the guy is that there are moments where I completely forget that Steven and Mark are not the same person. Like, are not the same actor. Right. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's the thing, is we also found out what Feige was talking about when he said, we're not pulling punches. This is going to be the darkest thing in the MCU. Like, they made it there. Mhm. Yeah. Right. The kids or anything. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. God, give whoever played his mom a supporting nod, cuz yeah. Yeah, I'm like getting visceral thinking about that. Yep. Yeah. Right. Right. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, they've again, uh they've been knocking it out of the park. Because I'm not going to stop, because I know I'm going to do it again. but it's just been it's been an incredible ride. And again, going back and watching the first two, you see it then, and you see you see more little pieces and Easter eggs that should have foreshadowed something that you had no idea of until you go back and watch it, and you're like, oh, that hippo in the gift shop, and oh, the girl talking about the field of reeds when the first girl that he talks to there at the pyramid, the little sand pyramid. His conversation with her is about, or she asks him what it was like to be rejected from the field of reeds, and he's like, "Well, I wouldn't know because I'm not dead yet, am I?" And you're just like, "Huh, okay, well, that's 5 episodes later finally making sense." So, yeah. Yeah. Yep. The hero reference made me think also on rewatching that opening scene is still so disconcerting and just sets the tone for the glass slippers or whatever. Yep. That's great. That's amazing. Yeah, horrible but amazing. Yes. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that whole, and then you find out about his mom. It's like, oh god. Yep. Now, we still haven't seen the red sarcophagus. And I have a stupid, crazy theory for you. When they were still wrestling and fighting the demons coming over, the scales were still out of balance with 2 hearts on there, and they didn't put the 3rd heart on there because Jake is still in a sarcophagus. Um, and Steven gets thrown overboard and quote unquote dies, and now the 2 hearts are the only thing that's left, and his heart didn't disappear. There was still a heart there. So it's like, because he's gone and Mark knows about Jake, maybe, and maybe Mark didn't want to let Jake out of that sarcophagus. Like, maybe that was a conscious decision to keep him in there. So, right. Same. Yes. Right. I mean, they literally had a point 2 episodes back where like Mark or Steven or Jake killed a bunch of people, and both of them were like, that wasn't me. Right. Right. Yeah, could be. I want to say it's only like 42 minutes. The Yeah, the runtimes were out, and I think I saw it was like the shortest or close to it with this many threads. Hasn't I don't think it's been confirmed or denied. So, yep. Yes. Right. But even then, in Moon Knight runs, half of it is when it's the interplay between Steven and Mark, and like, yeah, like in the book, the the suit is a thing, but there's, especially in the latter runs, it's very much, the personas and like how they interplay and how they, not in this sense how they, figure out everything about each other, but there's as much time out of the suit as there is in the suit. Right. Yep. Yeah. This is true. I did hear, heard an interview with the, I don't know if it was a showrunner or whatever, one of the guys that was at the helm, and he said that they are intentionally making it so if Feige wants to pluck him and use him somewhere, they're capable of it. But like, right, I mean, I don't think anyone thought that. Although who knows with Steven, like whether they're killing off portions of him. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a weird one, but right. Yeah, it's probably not going to be. Well, I guess the other thing that was alluded to is I was just looking up because I couldn't remember the name of the old Marvel character, but Scarlet Scarab. That Layla, apparently there's enough ties to uh, Layla Al Fayouli, I believe is her name in the comics or in the show, and let's see, it was Abdul Faouli was the original, or Abdul Faul was the yep, he was the Scarlet Scarab. So there's a lot of rumor that maybe she, or there's at least a thread to be taken somewhere else, that maybe she becomes this Scarlet Scarab. So yeah. If it ain't one thing, it's another with Marvel. I would say you should probably take care of that, and we'll wrap this puppy up.